What's up, everybody? It's your boy JD back again with another video, and y'all see the title. Y'all know what it is. It's time for the chapter reviews of beginning after end, chapter 86 and 87. What the hell is going on, people? So, not today's chapter, but last week's chapter, we got to see our girl Tess. We got to go to school. Got our uniforms on. Arthur is going to be a scholar. He wants to learn magic, which is cool. I don't have a problem with him knowing magic or learning magic. Would it have been nice to see him doing, becoming a battle mage like Eli? Yeah, it would have been. I mean, Elijah, aka Eli or L, however you want to call him. But yeah, it would have been nice. I think it would have been a lot nicer if he would have became a battle mage. But because we know Arthur and what he is, he likes to learn about magic. He loves magic. He wants to know as much as he can. Because let's be real, he's already powerful enough. More powerful than any kid his age. Maybe other than Tess, but definitely more powerful than any kid his age. So that's a good thing. Also, we're using two different abilities. We're using Earth, and I think we're using Earth and Wind. We're not using fire. We're not using ice. So we're using earth and wind. I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we're using earth and wind. And, which is going to be interesting to see how he's going to utilize both of those different attributes. So I'm definitely curious about that and how that's going to go. Now, next up, going into the auditorium, Cynthia Goodsky, the director of Cyrus Academy, she comes in, silence the crowd, gives her speech, and introduces the student council president that has two flunkies. Let's be real, they're flunkies. And then it has Lilia, Uncle Vince's daughter, some other random guy who we haven't really met yet to see like his full personality or where he stands on a thing. He looks like he's one of those stickler for the rules. And then we have Baby Girl, aka Best Waifu for Arthur, aka Best Girl, Tess, who is now, as we transition to chapter 87, student council president. So she is student council president. Chapter 86, just to touch one last time before we talk more about chapter 87. Chapter 86 didn't have like a lot going for it. Like it was really just an introduction, going into the school, seeing other kids, getting registered, going into the auditorium for, the day one announcement and speech and stuff like that. So we didn't really get much in that chapter. But chapter 87, we got a bit more. We found out that Tess is the student council president, and Lilia is the assistant to the student council president. So that is definitely going to be an interesting dynamic because we know Tess likes Arthur. We know Lilia likes Arthur. So it's going to be an interesting dynamic once those two find out that both of them like Arthur. Now, I'm pretty sure from the looks of it, Tess has looked like she's gotten a hell of a lot more mature. We also find out she's Cynthia Goodsky's disciple, her protege. So I can only imagine how much more powerful Tess has become. I'm very interested to see where she ranks in like the entirety of the school. What is her power compared to Arthur's? Like how strong is she compared to Arthur? What new magic has she learned? What new skills has she learned? Did she obtain a beast will yet? Because as we know, Arthur has the Elder Guardian beast will that he's planning on giving to her. But I am interested to see, does she have her own? And if she doesn't have her own, will she accept the beast will from Arthur? So moving on, after Tess gives her speech, of course at the auditorium, after we find out she's the Cynthia Goodsky's protege, she gives a speech about trying to bring every nation and every race together, just like the heads of every village. But of course, kids aren't having that. These are kids. These aren't adults who can think more rational and clearly. These are kids who's going to be kids, and a lot of them are going to be assholes. A lot of them have been privileged their whole lives. So it's going to be really, really hard to bring this group together without a lot of fighting and just madness going on. And we see that in this chapter. We see as the auditorium is letting out from the first assembly meeting. Arthur and Elijah are walking, and there's two kids starting a fight already. One from the human race and one from the dwarves race. Of course, the human is picking on the dwarf. They have a duel. We found out that the emblems on their uniforms, if used, you can duel within the school. So you can have miniature duels in the school. You're protected by a barrier, and whoever loses or the barrier breaks, that is the winner. So we did find that out, but I can see that going horribly wrong, because I can see somebody being an ass and not using power enough to break the barrier, but just enough power to beat the crap out of some poor student. I can definitely see that happening, and I can see that's going to be a problem. But nonetheless, the duel broke out. Of course, the dwarf kid lost, unfortunately for him. And as we found out, the human kid is an asshole. So the human kid was about to break the dwarf kid's arm, and Arthur ends up stopping him by saying, "Hey, is that the student council president?" Which stopped everybody in their tracks, because of course everybody there, girls or boys, thinks Tess is beautiful, which she is, but they stopped, turned looking, and then Arthur was like, "Oh, my mistake." So, which was funny, a little comedic there. We know Arthur is very comedic and everything like that, and he has a good sense of humor, especially when it comes to tackling people who's bullying other people. So that's always good to see. Now, as this is transpiring, the human kid was like, "Yo, are you messing with me? The student council president is nowhere in sight." And Arthur was like, "Oh, my bad. I thought I saw her." So Arthur's like, "Look, no harm done. Let's just let it go." So the human kid walks away, but Sylvie was like, "No, we not done yet, bro. We not done." So Sylvie spits on the human kid and was like, "Look, the human kid was about to come around, and like he was about to fight Arthur or something. Like, we know Arthur will body him in a heartbeat, because he was a dark red stage, and we know Arthur will body him in a heartbeat. It wouldn't even be funny." So, but luckily enough, the student council shows up: Tess, Lilia, and the other guy. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see how this is all going to play out. How much patrolling is Tess going to be able to do? And not only Tess, but the rest of the student council in general. How much policing and controlling will they be able to do in order to try and keep the fighting and everything down to a minimum? That's really going to be the number one priority on their list, as I'm sure, is trying to stop any racial tension that is going on. So I'm very interested to seeing that. As far as what I think will happen next chapter, of course, we're going to get the resolution between this potential, which I don't even think is going to be a skirmish, but a potential skirmish between Art and the guy who was about to break the dwarf kid's arm. And I'm pretty sure that's going to get handled. I'm pretty sure it's not going to try nothing with student council right there. Of course, it's Tess' first time seeing Art, and it's Art's, it's their first time talking in forever. So I'm very, very intrigued to see how that dynamic will go down, as far as what are they going to say to each other? How are they going to react to each other? Is Art and Tess going to go to like a secret, hideaway, or not a secret hideaway, but just somewhere where they can be in private, to where they can talk? Because we also found out in this chapter as well that Sylvie considers Tess her mother. So that was very interesting. I don't know if that's like a future foreshadow or something, or that's just because she was the first one other than Arthur to see Sylvie, and because she was around Tess for so long and growing up, she just considers Tess her mother. Or is that maybe like a foreshadowing that Tess and Arthur will indeed become a couple one day? I don't really know. But chapter 87 didn't really have much either, but it did give us a lot more in the chapter 86, and I'm definitely interested to seeing what is going to transpire in this school, because as we see, it's going to be a bunch of fights, it's going to be a bunch of racial tension. We haven't even gotten to the first class yet, and things are already starting to get out of control between the different kids and races. And this is just regular kids, because I don't even think this kid was a noble. So imagine when the nobles start fighting with each other. That's gonna be crazy. That's definitely gonna be crazy. We know Arthur is probably one of the top students as far as strength, so we know a few of them gonna pick on him, especially because he's a scholar mage. And scholar mages get picked on by the battle mages, so we know a bunch of people are gonna try to pick on Arthur, and we're gonna have to settle that one way or another. But that's it for today's review. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to drop a like. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Let me know what you guys think about chapter 86 and chapter 87 in the comment section below. What do you think is going to happen in the next chapter when Tess and the rest of the student council president go ahead and try to resolve everything that's going on? Also, what is your thoughts on Sylvie calling Tess, or feeling that Tess is her mom, or calling Tess her mom? So is that a potential pairing in the making, or is it just because, she's Tess is really the only girl she knew growing up, and of course Arthur's dad. So growing up, and probably the first girl she's seen was Tess. So it's just one of those type of things. But yeah, and also, how strong do you think Tess has become? That is definitely something real interesting I've been thinking on how strong has Tess become, and where would she rank now on the tier list of power per se. We know she has pull in the school. She's the president. She's the protege for Cynthia Goodsky, which is director. So a lot of major things is taking place. A lot of setup is being built. We have a ton more to go in this school art from what I've heard, and I just can't wait to get into it. But also, if you want to keep up with me, subscribe. Follow, join the Discord in the description below. Also, follow me on Twitch follow me on Twitch, the Otaku Fix. Follow me on Twitter at the Otaku Fix. All the same. And I will catch you guys next time. Peace.